Hi there, and welcome back to Shopping for the Real You. I'm Andrea Flommer, the author of Shopping for the Real You, available on Amazon and Kindle and print. And today we have a very informative interview that I know you're going to really enjoy with a new friend of mine. Shoey Sindel is a portrait photographer, but she brings more to the table than you would expect from a portrait photographer because she started out as a licensed psychiatric social worker. Here she went back to school to learn photography, and this is a passion for her.
The reason I fell in love with being a photographer, I was taking my first photo class while I was pregnant, and I
Ah,
got my friend, my colleague, to photograph my maternity, and it made me feel like a gorgeous rock star. I felt
uh,
so loved and beautiful and, the center of attention at a time when I think you really deserve to, have that
yeah.
special love and care. And so that's what made me start thinking, I love this. This is great. It was really special. So for me, that started off the journey of, oh, yes, photography is more than just getting your picture taken. It can really help you celebrate a special time in your life.
Yeah.
So, starting with maternity, that's a great time to start celebrating your family. But it could be, a brand new baby. It could be your kid's first walk, when they're
Hmm.
toddling around. Introducing new family members to your family is a great other time. I also photograph a lot of family reunions. So, like
Oh,
when mom is visiting from out of town, you have a wonderful opportunity to capture the generations at different times of their lives. And those can be really beautiful treasures that you have, not only because the picture might look gorgeous, but it's a time when you could, like for me, taking photos is more than snapping the camera. It's about creating an environment where people enjoy themselves so much that when you look at the picture, you remember how much
oh,
fun it was, and you have all these positive associations to that moment. So
that's
it's a
wonderful.
continuous, yeah, it's like a continuous reminder of a great relationship that you have together.
That's terrific. One of the things that a lot of people want to know about is what's the best environment to take these pictures? Do you do it outside? Do you do it indoors in a studio?
That's a good question. I don't know if there's necessarily a best. They're different. So I have a studio, and I do a lot of studio photography, both for individuals and families. You can see these two pictures were taken in my studio of individual women who just wanted to celebrate, being the rock star middle-aged women that they are. Um, so inside or outside, it just kind of sets a different tone. If you're outside, you part of the beauty of it is you get the environment, and the environment can help set the stage for, I guess, telling the story of who you are. If you just love being out at the park with your family or yourself, and you love the green and natural environment, then being outside can be a real bonus. Also, you can use things in the environment like tables or rocks or trees to help create the look and feel of your day.
Huh.
So that can be, really beautiful and fun. And it also is kind of a fun place to be. But inside the studio, as a photographer, you get to be very obsessive about the light and
Mm.
control everything. So in a way, it's a lot easier. Um, but it's also more challenging because you don't have the props of nature helping you out. The photographer has to create the scene and create the mood and create everything around you so that even on a blank background, you can still feel a sense of environment.
So
Does that
when
make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. So when you're setting up lighting, I mean, the people or the person are sitting there and you're in the studio and you're setting up lights, how do you loosen them up in order to not be intimidated by all this external. I'm sure that models are so used to it, it's just
Oh,
who
right.
they are. But for the ordinary person, it can be a little intimidating to be sitting there and realize that you're going to have your picture. How do you loosen people up?
Yeah, because even just having a camera stuck in your face can be extremely intimidating. Um, I think for me, being a psychiatric social worker plays well for me because I know how to interact with people. Um, I'll put on their favorite music. Sometimes we'll just sing together.
Uh,
I tell stupid jokes. We laugh. I ask them about their vacations and their family. So we actually start developing a very quick relationship, even if I'd met them 2 seconds ago. And so I think for me, it's all about creating the comfort level, and that comes through relationship. And I usually end up making friends with most of my clients because not only are you having to develop a relationship, but I'm asking people to show their super vulnerable selves. I'm asking them to display who they are in front of a camera with kind of a
th-
stranger.
that is the key point. So many of the women that I've interviewed, and men too, but
Yeah.
interestingly, mostly women, just the idea of being on camera and being visible and being open there. I mean, when you're taking a private photograph, there's a limited number of people that are going to see this, the
Right.
people that you want to see it. When you're recording video that's going to be online, you're really exposing yourself.
I
So
feel a little nervous today myself, so
you
I
you sure don't look it. But I think that's a big part of it. There's a lot of we have a lot of insecurities. Um, if somebody just says, I've never taken a good photograph, I'm just not photogenic, what can you say to them?
well, honestly, about 80% of the people will say that I'm not photogenic. And I think, what do I say to that? I don't think everybody is photogenic. And I think it's part of it is in what's been put in our heads by the media as to what is beautiful.
Exactly.
Like everybody's photoshopped and contoured and all that. I personally do not believe in that. Like I'm great at Photoshop, and what I'll do is touch up a little bit of wrinkles or make your skin, if you have boo-boos, make those go away. But I'm all about, and this is part of my process, is when I photograph people to talk to them about self-love and to help them really see how beautiful they are for who they are, not some weirdly idealized version of who they should be.
This
So
is this is what shopping for the real you is all about.
yeah,
It's just being real. I mean, and I totally 100%, 1000% agree with you. Everybody is beautiful. I mean, it's just looking at humans must be a wonderful gig for you because you get to see all beautiful people all the time.
it's really fun, and I enjoy the process of showing people their pictures because some people will initially poo-poo everything, and
Hmm.
I'll say, no, let's just stop a minute and let's really see how gorgeous you look here.
Exactly.
Let's just dive into this picture for a moment. And so many people have come back to say, wow, thank you for just laying that groundwork so that I can love this.
Yeah. And have you noticed with any of your clients that just having their photograph taken and seeing that has changed their view of themselves?
Absolutely. I photographed this one woman. She was 50-ish and she was just getting divorced and
Mm.
feeling like, you know, I'm taking my life on a new path and I want to just celebrate who I am. And she wanted nudes, which I thought was super brave of her. So, and she said, no makeup, just I want to be authentically me. And we took some really beautiful photos. We had a great time together. And when she came back, she brought her boyfriend back with
Huh.
her to look at the photos. And she cried, and I
Oh,
cried. And we were all just so moved by the experience. When she came back from the session, he could see that she had a brand new feeling of confidence and
wow.
joy and acceptance of herself. It was tremendous for me to hear that. I loved it.
What a great story. But I guess we need to tell people that they don't need to get nude in order to come and have their portrait taken.
No, no, that's right.
So this is something I've been wondering about because I have family members that are in the entertainment industry, as do you. And what is the difference between what they call a headshot and a personal, this is for professional people because there are a lot of women out there who are just, maybe starting a little business on the side, starting a website, or are putting themselves out there as a coach or a trainer, or many reasons why people would want a picture. But what's the difference between a headshot and a personal branding photograph?
So a headshot, which I think every person who's in business, like any kind of professional, needs a headshot, and I'll tell you what that is. A headshot is usually one or a small collection of portraits, which usually are from the chest up. The purpose of that is really to help people connect with you with a very short glance. I think people these days online, your picture gets 4 seconds of eyeball time. So it has to be a dynamic, well-crafted, connective photo so that people will, as they're scrolling through whatever they're scrolling through, will say, boom, I want to meet that person. They look professional. They look smart. They look interesting. They obviously have invested in themselves, and I want to invest in them. So
That's terrific.
it's a way to connect with people.
That's wonderful. Is that different from a personal branding photograph or?
Yes, and so headshots can be used on everything: LinkedIn, websites, author books. You can use those for a lot of different things on business cards. Personal branding is more than just one. It's really a collection of photos. Many people will do an annual series so that they're always refreshing. Those are for people who maybe are bloggers and are heavy users of images, like on Instagram, where you're constantly updating and telling things to your audience using images. They can incorporate a lot about your personality. So say you're a mommy blogger, you may want to show your kids. So you at the beach and using sunscreen and eating healthy snacks and having a good day at the beach. So that's telling more about your lifestyle. And it's a way for people to really connect with you and really get to know you, get to know your passions and your lifestyle and what you're all about. To do a branding session with them, I would do a real deep dive into them about what their brand is and what they want to convey and what the words are that they want to associate with themselves, whether it's fun and lively, creative, smart, ridiculous, confused. There's a myriad of words. And then we would talk about where to go that would help them tell the story or stories that they're wanting to convey to their audience.
That's
So it could be the beach, it could be their office, it could be a boardroom. It just really depends on
or their
who they are.
kitchen,
Their kitchen, exactly.
right? Yeah. The next one is something that I'm always concerned about because that's what I write about.
Uh-huh.
How does what you wear uh, play a part? The only thing I would say, I'm going to bring this up right now, is if you're going to have even a family portrait taken, don't wear anything too trendy because I
Yeah.
think all of us have photographs in our albums or on our phones from the 1980s with the shoulder pads and the hair. So my only recommendation would be to consider something that expresses you in your color or your style, but keep it simple.
Yeah, I agree with you. It should not. Well, first of all, the clothing should, in my opinion, highlight you, not be a. It shouldn't be a photograph about your clothes. It should be about you,
Hmm.
right? And the clothing, I think, should. If it's a group shot, people should look like they're cohesive. I'm personally not into the matchy, where everybody wore the white shirt and the blue jeans and they were barefoot. I hate that. But I think you should look like you're a group. So if you choose a color palette of, I don't know, 2 or 3 colors with an accent color, and you all look like you belong together, that looks nice.
That's
Yeah,
great.
patterns, I believe that you should keep them either solid or very minimal, unless, like this woman here, she looks amazing in that pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's part of her personality. But
Yeah.
I don't think they should dominate who you are. You want to be able to connect with their face first, and then
Yeah.
your clothing is like the supporting character, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree. And the thing is about that photograph and what she's wearing, that's even though it's a dynamic pattern,
Uh-huh.
it's not a dated pattern. It's a kind of a perennial a
A
perennial structure of pattern in the geometric shape of it that perfectly matches and suits her bone structure and her coloring. So that's a different thing altogether. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, I would probably send all my clients to talk to you.
Thank you. I want to talk to you about the whole concept of selfies.
Okay,
Um, and
right.
is there anything people should keep in mind when they're taking a quick selfie to send to somebody, or if they're going to be uh, posting something on a dating site? So if
Yeah.
you're taking a selfie, you've got this camera. Is it here? Is it there? Do you look up? Do you look down? Is there any quick information you can give us about how to take a decent selfie?
Okay. Selfies, first of all, I really think you should never ever use a selfie for your business profile. Um,
I
I actually
totally agree.
like never. I use them occasionally, like a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Right.
But I also expect that people aren't going to think that I'm trying to look good. So, okay, the best selfie shot. So there's something called the MySpace shot, and you probably know this. It's where people hold up their cameras like this and are looking down at themselves like that.
Yeah.
And so why is that like the look is because first of all, when you're looking up, you are stretching your neck, and so that's more attractive
Good
than
point.
this, which people tend to do. So looking up is better. You could turn your shoulders a little bit because that's a more attractive way to present yourself. And then um, for a lot of women, they like to look down into their cleavage. So that's the selfie look.
Okay. Oh, that's
I
terrific.
would say that there were studies done by OkCupid, which is one of the biggest
Right.
dating sites, and they said that the photos that were taken with a professional camera are looked at and responded to 80% times more than
Mm.
the handheld cell phone. So there you have it.
I think it's absolutely true because you get the lighting right, you get the most flattering angle.
Yeah.
There's thought been put into it.
And you don't have junk behind you.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
it's really hard to take your own picture well.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So
I'm
you're
sorry.
in the San Francisco Bay Area,
Mhm.
and if people are coming to the area or live in the area, how would they contact you and how would they set up an appointment to have a photographic shoot with you?
I have a website, which is shoeysindel.com, and my contact is there. And all you need to do is give me a call, and we can find the right time and the right place for the great photos you need.
Wonderful. So I just want to tell our viewers it's ShoeySindel.com, Shoey Sindel. So Shoey, I want to thank you so much for this. This has been highly informative,
Thank
very
you.
useful, and a lot of fun.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye bye.